Previously on training for Black Canyon 100K.
Last summer at the Vermont 100, it was suggested to me that I might have sweated out so much salt that the salt caused terrible chafing. This past year at Black Canyon, I had the brilliant idea to try to do an entire race in the desert without taking in any salt. It was a disaster. All right, so for the 3 people who care, here's a recap of this week's training. Monday was a snowy day. That's okay because I'm using Mondays as my rest day or cross-training day. So I just set up the bike trainer. I've been watching The Magicians on Netflix. It's a really bad show that was recommended to me by my friend Perry. It's sort of Harry Potter, but more vulgar. And there's a lot of like sex and drugs and nudity and stuff like that, but they do magic. And the problem with shows and movies that have magic a lot of times is that the rules for magic are not really defined, right? Which leads to this problem where the protagonists get into impossible situations that they can't possibly get out of. The writers will employ what's called Deus ex machina to make a solution come out of nowhere, usually in the form of magic, that helps them resolve the plot. And Deus ex machina comes from Greek plays where the hero would get into an impossible situation and then the gods would come and rescue him. In storytelling, you really want to have plants and payoffs. If you think about the movies that have the best surprises, when you go back and watch them again, those surprises are really obvious. You can see where it was set up, what you missed, and that's why a surprise works. So to put Deus ex machina in terms of running, it would be like if I was doing Black Canyon and I was in something like 55th place and I got to the Table Mesa aid station at mile 50 and, Salazar was there and now all of a sudden I was in first place. Wednesday was speed at the Boulder Res, 2x2 mile tempo. I think keeping my easy days really easy is paying off because I'm feeling very strong in the workouts, which is good. Usually I'm struggling through workouts, but maybe there's something to really backing off on easy days, and that and the cross training is all part of my first goal of not getting injured during this training cycle. And the biggest thing was this Saturday, I participated in the Blue Sky Trail Marathon. It was a little long for this point in the training cycle, but what I did was I really used it as a way to experiment with nutrition. And so what I did during this run was I took potato chips, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in my running vest. Right off the bat, I was eating solid food. I wanted to see how the solid food would feel when I still had the energy to really run the downhill, see if it would upset my stomach, see if I would bonk at all. And I'm very encouraged by the results. I got through the race without bonking at all. I was more tired by mile 21 and 22 just because my previous longest long run had been 15 miles. This was a bit of a jump up. But in terms of trying to solve this balance of too much salt and no salt at all, I'm kind of encouraged by the idea of taking in solid food, salty solid food, very early on in the race. On the flip side, it wasn't really hot on Saturday. In fact, right as I started the race, it started snowing for a little while. So I'll have to try this experiment on a hotter day. But overall, feeling pretty good about this nutrition experiment, and I think potato chips will be a key part of the nutrition plan for Black Canyon. And that's about it. On to week 3 of training.
Put your hands up in the air.